What do you think is a reasonable age to start dating? What is your opinion about what I post on social media / YouTube? If I tell my mom I lost my virginity or are sexually active? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my mom. You want to tell me your name?
I'm Jessica.
Today I'm going to be asking her questions that you guys are too afraid to ask your moms. And yeah, sorry for the person mowing their lawn in the background. Hopefully they'll be done soon. Do you want to say anything to them before we start?
These are just my personal opinions. It might not be for everybody, but I find that they work well for all 6 of my kids so far. So.
Kind of just pulled questions from other people's videos instead of asking people on Instagram, because I feel like these are the most popular questions. I'm going to start kind of easy and then get to the more
In-depth?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what do you think is a reasonable age to start dating?
I think that really has a lot to do with the maturity of the person.
If you're underage and your parents are dropping you off, then probably 14, 15.
Yeah.
And if you're driving yourself and you feel comfortable with that person in a vehicle, then 16, 17. But it really kind of depends on the activity
there's
too.
different levels of dating.
Yeah.
Next up, do you think we would be friends if we were the same age?
I would want to be your friend.
If you were my age?
Yes, I would want to be your friend.
Okay. Out of me, Gracie, and Jenna, when you were your age, who do you think you would have been friends with?
Jenna.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say.
I love her. She's amazing, and she's so funny, and she seems welcoming to me. But I'm also not your guys' age. She might be different with folks your age. Sorry.
Me and Gracie can be friends.
Right.
What is your opinion about what I post on social media / YouTube?
I think that my opinion's not really your business. I think that you are responsible and respectful to yourself about what you post. I have never felt like I needed to draw issue with the things that you post. You respect yourself and almost everything you do, and so I don't need to voice my opinion. You know what is respectful of you, and that's all I ever asked when you even started with social media, was just make sure that once you put it out there, you're proud of it, because you can't take it back, and it really can't be out there forever.
What age do you think it is reasonable to start shaving?
I think that really depends on the person's, how comfortable you are with yourself. I waited until I was a little bit older. I didn't have somebody to really show me how to do it correctly, and so I wasn't comfortable with it as early as some girls.
I think I was 11 or 12 when you started letting me shave.
But that really made you uncomfortable, though.
Yeah.
We really wanted to shave, so we really took time to do that well and learn.
And it was right before a dance recital, I think, and so.
And it was a confidence thing for you.
Yeah, it was a confidence thing.
So if it makes the person more confident, yes, but you also have to go into it knowing that once you start, it's an ongoing thing unless you really decide.
Did you ever sneak out?
No.
You didn't?
No, but my sister did.
Did she get in trouble?
No, because I never told her. Your brother did.
Too cold did?
Yeah, a couple times. I don't know if you've heard that story, but he snuck out and went down the road. We all know where he went, we won't say.
Yeah.
And he was on his way back, and I had texted him to ask him to return to his room because I couldn't find him in the house. And that was just kind of our code. It wasn't a school night, but it was wherever you are. You better be where you're supposed to be, because I need to go to sleep. And all of a sudden I heard the car. It was the black car, your dad's old work car, and he cut the engine right before the neighbors and pulled it in the driveway and clutched it in. And I was almost proud of just how smooth he had done it, and it would have been smooth if I hadn't been watching him through the garage. He got caught upon coming in the front door, and that was the last time I remember catching your brother, but he busts himself out now and lets me know things that I didn't know.
What would you tell yourself at my age?
Oh, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. That is what I would say. It's all gonna be okay.
Sleep as much as you can.
Sleep as much as you, yes, sleep as much as you can, because you will never sleep again.
High school advice. So basically, like making friends, schoolwork, sports, just.
You will find your friends. Don't force it. Have one good one. One good friend is really plenty. Collect people that make you feel bad about yourself. That never pays off in the end. Sports, I didn't play sports. Sports, dancing wasn't really considered a sport, I guess it was. Gosh, only do the things you love. Don't stress yourself out. Don't do all the sports because they're there.
Also, don't bully people just because you want to fit in.
Yeah. Because then you just become part of the problem.
Yeah. Like
just the
I read that book. I finished it, The People We Meet on Vacation.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, she moved to New York City because she got bullied a ton in high school. And she met the guy who bullied her in New York City. He was in a subway, and she got her purse stuck in the subway door, and it was about to leave. And he pried it open, and then he looked at her and noticed it was her. And he followed her out, and he was like, "I'm so sorry for everything that I did. I was just trying to fit in, because if you weren't like acting cool or bullying someone or whatever, then you were one of the other kids that got bullied."
My advice to that is always be the other group.
Yeah, I'd rather be the other group.
But like, can you imagine the impact that had on him? Like, it impacted her. She remembered him, and she probably wanted to be as far away from him as possible.
Want to.
And something in him wanted to apologize because it sat with him. So, schoolwork. Oh, I spent way too much time doing schoolwork. School and learning takes a lot of time.
It shouldn't be as stressful as they make it.
No, it shouldn't.
Like, I was listening to, this is another thing, I was just listening to Emma Chamberlain's podcast. One of her episodes is called Failure, and she was talking about how school was really hard for her, just on her mental health and everything. And she was like, no matter how many tests you fail, you're still gonna find a way to get to where you want to. It really doesn't matter, and I stressed myself out way too much.
Yes, tests are not a measure of how smart you are.
So many things are wasted. Like, you're always comparing yourself. You're trying to be good enough for boys. And
well, people talk about the social aspect of school too. That's the question I get a lot is, are you worried your kids won't be socialized? There's so many of you, and you guys are so different. You're already socialized. And the kind of socialization that you get in school is often negative. And you're forced, as kids who are just trying to figure out who they are in the first place, to conform to what other people think about you constantly, all the time, changing yourself to fit in. I know, like, I used to make a deal with myself. I'd get up in the morning and I'd not do something that somebody maybe pointed out was strange or weird or awkward, because social anxiety can lead to you saying things or doing things that might be interpreted as strange by other people, and then somebody puts a seed in your brain that it's strange, but your parents have told you it's fine, and you're like, well,
grows this whole other insecurity, and then you have to figure out later on how to be okay with it. But it's hard to at this age because
somebody has pointed it out as something that's negative about you. Where does it come from? Like, do we see our parents doing it? Do we see media doing it?
It stems from jealousy sometimes, though, too.
Like wanting what somebody else has, and so you have to pick at them for something you don't like about them because you can't have what you do.
Or it could even be what they do like, but they tell you
they can't have it,
and they don't want you to know that, so they
and they don't want you to have it either.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm kind of on the same thing. Advice on not feeling like you fit in.
Don't.
Just don't.
Literally,
Don't fit in.
I've stopped going to my public school, and I don't talk to half the people I used to. So imagine like when you move away and go to college, how many of those people you're actually gonna stay connected to with.
That one
so
good
like
one.
yeah, that one, maybe one or two.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, some people do stay in contact and stay where they live, and that's great.
Yeah.
But don't feel like you have to fit in because
Sometimes you outgrow your spaces.
yeah. Next one, how do you approach your family of going to therapy, or like your parents to going to therapy? Because not all parents.
Oh, so I get that. I get that to a certain extent, but disclaimer, therapy is for everyone. And therapy is so important. And
You always have school counselors if you don't want to go to your parents about it.
yes, and most
But-
school counselors are qualified to do that.
And then there's also online sources,
I love that.
and then phone numbers, right? That
Yeah,
you can call.
there are hotlines if you need somebody to talk to right now, whether it be anxiety, depression, if you're having scary, mental thoughts.
And I can try and find the links to those and put them in the description.
Yeah, we can definitely come up with
So-
those. Yes, ma'am.
You always have that resource too. What is the most rebellious thing that you've done?
Not going to college right after high school, and not going to my graduation. Not like walking at my graduation. I think I did that because it was a direct rebellion.
What is one thing you would change about me if you could?
Maybe it would be that I would wish that you weren't as hard on yourself. And to be less hard on yourself. Because you are your worst critic. And I think, and I'm very biased because I think everything you do is brilliant. But others think things that you do are brilliant too. And knowing those things and seeing those things in you helps them understand you better as a person, as a young person. And you hold back a bit when you're on your creative side because I don't know that you're ready for people to really see you. But that's okay. You're allowed to hold that part of yourself, until you're ready. But yeah, you're on a good path for being way more confident than you used to be, and I think a little bit of that comes with age, but just to, shine.
Okay, the next ones are kind of like relationship, except for one of them. So, advice for just relationships in general, and how to keep it going, and like keep a healthy relationship going.
Like a partner relationship?
It could be anything really. It
Or
could
like
be
a friendship?
friends, it could be
Just
partner.
honesty, talk to each other. You have to talk to each other.
Yeah, communication and trust are like.
So you have to have respect for boundaries as well. So honesty, communication, respect of boundaries. Those are all really important things when trying to maintain a healthy relationship with somebody.
I feel like you have to show appreciation for one another often, because I feel like that can get in the way sometimes if you're feeling.
And that goes into a whole love language
Yeah.
thing. Like, how does that person really like to receive appreciation? Because appreciation can be so many different things.
Okay, how to get over an ex.
Donuts.
I don't even know this.
But really it comes back to finding something that you enjoy, that brings you joy, to fill in the time spent on that thing, or to just really take that time to rest.
My general
Love
answer
yourself.
would just be time.
Time, so much time.
And I feel like that's.
And you're allowed to take as much time. I mean, there are statistics about how much time it should take. There is no time. Time is really like at minimum a reflection of your investment in that relationship, regardless of what kind of relationship it was. When you lose like a friend, it can be extra. I think I've taken friendships ending harder than I have relationships ending, because you invest yourselves differently in a friendship than you might in a relationship.
Too. How do I tell my mom I lost my virginity or are like sexually active? So,
Well, in your case, I would hope before you entered into that, I would be aware of said partner. And then it would be a talk about all the things you'd want to cover via your health before you entered into a sexual relationship with another partner. And also making sure that that person has done their checks and is taking care of themselves up to that point, because that's important as well. You know, you should be able to turn to your parents to discuss that thing with them, because, so restate the question for me. And
How do I tell my mom I've lost my virginity or I am sexually active?
Oh, well, hopefully you'd just be able to tell your adult human. I don't know if everybody, you know, and with boys, I would hope that they could talk to a parent as well. Although my reaction to the situation might be different than your dad's. I would hope that you would at least feel comfortable talking to one of your parents, you know, because you have to have someone you can ask questions to.
Did you tell your mom, and was it awkward?
I did tell my mom. It was awkward. She kind of made me feel like I did something wrong, but I think I think parents, when I was that age, they just kind of came with that design, and maybe that's still the rule. Like, it's a taboo thing, you're not supposed to do it, but so many kids do. So once you do, what does it become? It becomes a secret, or something you sneak out to do, or something you keep, and then that teaches you to lie and be dishonest, and then that's dishonesty within a relationship where you're supposed to have trust.
From all the videos that I watched, when people asked their mom that, a lot of them were like, either no, because it was a taboo topic and no one talked about it, or they did and it was awkward because no one talked about it, you know. I think it's a personal thing.
It really is.
It's up to you to decide.
It is.
What's right for you or not.
And the right age might be 17, it might be 27. It
depends on the person. When should you start going to the gynecologist?
So the pediatrician recommends that you go once you're sexually active. I would recommend that you go before you're sexually active. And because in my family I have a history of cervical cancer and ovarian cancer and cancers of the reproductive area, I started going when I was 15, but I was also sexually active for the first time at 15. So that kind of shifted things in my mind. Like, I need to get this taken care of. My mom did not go with me the first time me and my sister went together.